Hello everybody, and welcome to Jillian, Epperly, and Jilly Juice. Now, while I'm sure some of you know what I'm talking about, if you don't, I'm here to cover the very basics. What Jillian believes, what the juice actually is, and what Jillian believes that the juice can cure, versus what it actually does to the human body. Now, I'm going to start off by putting some reviews here on the screen. You can pause now if you want to read those, but I'm not going to read through all those. But I figured I should start off with something light because it gets pretty gross and pretty dark pretty quickly when you start diving into Jillian. Now, Jillian has been talked about by a lot of people, mostly on YouTube. The top two are Jeff Holiday and Miles Power, the pseudoscience dynamic duo of YouTube. The other big names that I can think of that you really need to go watch the content to see how she actually is Dr. Phil, who did an episode on her. PewDiePie, YouTube's golden boy, did a video on her, which he just reacted to the Dr. Phil episode of her. And Destry Smith, who worked with Shane Dawson for 6 months there. I can't go into all the names of all the people that have talked about her because I would be here for about 2 hours, but I just want to touch on that just so you can see that there are people that have made videos on her before. Jeff Holiday has made a in-depth series of everything that she's done, and he continues to make videos on her when he feels it's necessary. Now, I would like to talk about her book. She has released more than one book, but the main one is her first book, The Jilly Juice Protocol: Exposing the Lies Candida, Weaponized Fungus Mainstreaming Mutancy. It's a mouthful, I know, but here on the screen you can see a picture of Jillian next to a picture of her book, which has the cabbage on the cover, the pink Himalayan salt, and a couple jars of the brew, which just looks gross. I would like to talk about what Jilly Juice is. I feel like that is very important to start with, just what it actually is being thrown in jars. From the beginning, the Jilly Juice has been the same recipe, until the last couple months where she changed it. Now, I don't know what changed or what caused her to change the protocol, but she changed it, and I'm going to talk about it. The original recipe was 2 cups of cabbage or kale put in a food processor, and then put in a blender with 2 cups of water and 1 tablespoon of pink Himalayan salt. Now, she wanted you to get the non-GMO pink Himalayan salt because she believed that was the best for the body, that would do the most to rid your body of parasites and candida. Why? I don't know, but she's crazy. We'll just let her roll with it. The new recipe hasn't changed too much from the original, but it has changed enough that I question whether or not she's going to start devolving to the point where it's just going to spiral out of control and things are going to get more and more crazy from here. The new recipe, which I got from her LLC Facebook page, she changed it to the banner not that long ago. The new recipe is 1 cup of cabbage put in a food processor, then put in a blender with 2 cups of water and a tablespoon of white salt, so table salt. Why she changed that, I don't know. Maybe she thought it was cheaper and just wanted it to be more accessible for everybody, because if you can't afford to get the nice pink Himalayan salt, most people can get table salt. Now, in both recipes, you're supposed to let your brew ferment in a jar for 3 days at room temperature with a coffee filter on the top of the jar. Why? I don't know, but as if salty cabbage water wasn't gross enough, now it's fermented, so have fun with that, I guess. She just wants everybody to drink the most disgusting thing possible. Maybe she thinks it's just hilarious and wants to see how many people she can get to actually fall for this? Who knows? Now, the beliefs behind Jilly Juice is that every cancer disease, chronic illness, any genetic defects you have, leaky gut, which isn't actually a real thing, but she believes it is, that it's all caused by candida and parasites. Now, candida's a yeast. If it grows out of control in your mouth, that's called thrush, that kind of thing. And she believes that we all have parasites, that everything is controlled by parasites and candida, that is controlling all our actions, all our movements, everything. But if you drink Jilly Juice, it's a probiotic to neutralize the candida. If she actually knows what a probiotic is, I don't know, but we'll let it happen. Now, she doesn't believe in detoxes, so any of your smoothies, any of your juice detoxes, anything like that, she thinks it, quote, destroys the body and, quote, depletes you of the resources your body needs to rebuild and purge. Now, those are direct quotes from her book that I mentioned earlier. She also believes that you need to stay off your medications and treatments. So anything you're taking for any kind of sickness, if you're taking cancer medications, stop those. If you have any kind of disease where you need to take medications regularly to not die, You don't need those, just drink the super salty cabbage water. You'll be fine. One thing I do need to talk about, and it's going to get gross, so if you get grossed out easily, click forward about 7 seconds and you'll be out of the clear. Waterfalls, or her clever name for copious amounts of diarrhea, won't dehydrate you. Now, anybody that's sane knows that that's not the case, but she doesn't believe it's actually diarrhea. She believes that it's something completely different, that it's just your body purging out all the bad stuff that you need to get rid of. I don't get it. It grosses me out, but that's how she rolls. She has lovingly called Jilly Juice a poop cult. Yeah. Apparently, according to Jillian, Jilly Juice is safe for children and your fur babies. Who gives their children super salty fermented cabbage water? I don't know, but there are actually videos of people giving it to their kids, and it is honestly heartbreaking. It is one of the most terrible things I've ever seen. Now, one thing that she has changed a lot that is actually quite surprising, Jillian was an anti-vaxxer for a very long time, but she recently changed this and now she supports getting vaccines. Whether that's on a modified schedule or not, I was unable to find, but she no longer is an anti-vaxxer, which, I mean, if you're gonna weaken people's immune systems with your terrible, terrible concoction anyway, you might as well make sure they get their vaccine so they don't get sick as much. I would also like to say that this is only the beginning. As crazy as all of this is, there is so much more that I do not have time to dive into here, but if you want to go find out everything that she has said, go watch the Jeff Holiday series called A Song of Salt and Poo. It's very, very long. It's about 45 minutes for each video, and there's 7 parts to that series, plus a couple extra videos that he has made on the side about Jillian. But it is worth it if you really want to see what is going on within the Facebook groups, what is going on within everything that she does. Speaking of the Facebook group, I would like to touch on that real quick, because she has had multiple. They've gotten shut down over the years for violating community policies, anything like that. But the LLC Facebook group is open to the public and you can go read it. The closed groups have some very gross content on there, which I'm glad I don't have to deal with for this project. But, again, you can find those in the Jeff Holiday series. Now, Jillian believes that parasites thrive in lactic acid, which is why she wants you to drink salt. Apparently that much sodium chloride balances out the lactic acid. I don't know. And she says if your brews were invaded by worms and other parasites, that you didn't use enough salt in your brew. Again, don't get it. But hey, quotes. I have a couple quotes here from the Facebook group up on the screen. You can read those if you want. I will not be reading through those either. But they are there just so you can see from her the kind of things she says. I have here a couple photos from the Facebook group. The original banner for the LLC, a bucket of her salt. The photo in the bottom left corner is a picture of somebody's brew that looks like it has a very, very weird mold growing on it. But somebody said to just scrape that off, mix and stir, stick it in the fridge, you're good to go. Gross. No, don't do that. You can see a picture of somebody's brew with the sludge sitting in the bottom because the cabbage sinks down and just kind of sticks there. It looks absolutely disgusting. But then you can see 2 screenshots of her looking up medical information. Well, what she thinks is medical information, and then putting a mini rant over it about how this is dangerous, about how antibiotics are anti-life and anti-microbiome. Again, I don't think she knows what those words actually mean, but hey. And as you can see, the lovely anti-vaxxer meme, well, pro-vax meme against anti-vaxxers, that now is your chance to go to China and prove us all wrong. Yeah, she's been talking about COVID-19 since it all started. She hasn't shut up about it. I've been reading the post, it's awful. I will not be diving into that because I do not have the time nor the patience to sit and read through all of that here. Now, I am going to talk about what Jillian believes that Jilly Juice can cure, because it is insane and probably one of the craziest things I have seen in alternative medicine pseudoscience to date. She believes that it can regrow organs and limbs. With what nutrients, I don't know, because nothing in the juice is even close to what you would need to heal those kind of systems, let alone rebuild them. I mean, all of science hasn't figured out a way to regrow limbs, but apparently Jilly juice did with some fermented salty cabbage water. Alright. You can reverse aging. You can live up to 400 now, so if you got those dreams of immortality or you just want to go sleep for about 40 years, you can do that drinking Jilly juice. You can cure ADHD, autism, AIDS, type 2 diabetes, Down syndrome, cancer, and get this, she thinks it can cure homosexuality, because that's apparently a genetic defect and not actually, I don't know. I don't want to get into it, but just, it's there. She said it. Hell, she even said it on national television when she was on the Dr. Phil show. In all reality, what Jilly juice gives you is hypernatremia. Now, the effects of hypernatremia can range from headaches, just feeling generally crappy, to strokes and heart attacks from the amount of salt you're ingesting. Again, you can find all of this. You can find cases of people saying, yeah, I had a stroke doing Jilly juice. Actually, one of those people was on the Dr. Phil show and said on there, yeah, I had 2 strokes drinking the Jilly juice. But apparently that's not enough to get Jillian to stop. I don't know why, but it isn't. I don't know. It doesn't click. Now, as much as there is a lot of meme-worthy content on Jillian, as much as you can find joke after joke, people making memes about her, people making fun of her, as much as she's the lol cow of pseudoscience, she is actually dangerous. She is convincing multiple people, and I'm talking 100,000 people on her Facebook groups, to drink Jilly juice, drinking a gallon of this a day. So that's 4 tablespoons of salt a day. Again, that's going to give you hypernatremia. She can actually kill people, and there have been cases of people reporting that she was either involved or had a hand in a death, had a hand in a severe injury, but they are unable to do anything because they can't directly prove that she actually caused it. But again, she is very dangerous, and what she is doing is convincing people to go off their medications. She's using desperation and fear to line her bank account, because you have to pay for her book. You have to pay to be in specific groups with her, to call her, to talk to her. It's all money, and she's padding her bank account with people's fear and desperation to not die, to not be sick anymore. And it's absolutely deplorable what she's doing. But we can't stop her unless somebody finds a way to prove that Jilly juice is directly what caused a severe injury or a death. Yeah, that's it. I'm done. I can't handle any more of her. I hope you enjoyed. I hope that you go look deeper into Jilly juice, because there is a lot to look into. Again, I very highly recommend the Jeff Holiday series about it. I highly recommend the Miles Power video about it. You can find copious amounts of videos on her. You can find anything you want to know about Jillian. And I hope you do, because there is so much there. You could sit there for hours just watching everything circle the drain. But anyway, hope you enjoyed. Hope you're enjoying quarantine. Hope everybody's doing well. This has been Danny. I'm out.